Morning and Jayanti students. Here I'm Kanchan, your English teacher, and I have taken the chapter The Last Lesson and from the book Flamingo. So this chapter is about the importance of mother tongue as in the language we speak, we love, and it is our mother tongue as we use Hindi language mostly to speak, and it's our favorite it should be our favorite language. So in this chapter also France was defeated by Prussia led by Bismarck, and I told you in my previous video that Bismarck was an outstanding diplomat and a strong, determined leader. He navigated the German states to become a united empire and a major power in Europe. He initiated social welfare reforms and also he maintained the peace and stability of Germany and Europe. So here it is about Bismarck, and then when France was defeated, then Prussia then consisted of what now are the nations of Germany, Poland, and parts of Austria. In this story, the French districts Alsace and Lorraine have passed into Prussian hands. Means there was power of Germans, and then what happened we will see. So before we start our chapter, let's discuss word meaning of these expressions. So first expression is in great dread of. As we know, dread means fear, so it means with great fear. And second is in unison, means all at once. It is here in unison means all at once or together. Then counted on means when you rely someone or you are dependent on anyone, so it means to rely. And thumbed at the edge, it means with pages worn out due to use. And here a great bustle means excited activity and movement. And here reproach ourselves with, it means criticize ourselves for. So these expressions have been used here. And now let's start a story. I started for school very late that morning and was in great dread of a scolding. As we know very well, scolding means to scold someone. So the author is saying that I started for school, but he had fear of scolding. And what was the reason? Especially because Mr. Hamel, because M. Hamel was his teacher, had said that he would question us on participles. As you know well, participles are in grammar, and he was told to read about participles because his teacher was going to ask questions on participles, and he did not read that homework. So he had fear. I didn't know the first word about them, means he didn't know about he didn't know the first word of the participles. So he had fear. If his teacher would ask anything, then how will he answer? So he was fearing. For a moment, I thought of running away and spending the day out of doors. So once he thought that I should just run away, I should not go to school, and in this way I will be able to escape from punishment. And he decided to spend his time, his hours outside of the school. So it was so warm, so bright. The birds were chirping at the edge of the woods, and the open field back of the sawmill, the Prussian soldiers were drilling. Then he saw birds were chirping, and it was warm, it was bright, and Prussian soldiers were keeping march, drilling, and it was all much more tempting than the rule for participles. So tempting means anything that attracts you to observe, to see. So he was attracted by those Prussian soldiers. Then but I had the strength to resist and hurried off to school. And but he wanted to see those soldiers but who were drilling, but he had also to go to school, so he decided to go to school and he started walking. When I passed the town hall, there was a crowd in the front of the bulletin board. For the last 2 years, all our bad news had come from there: the lost battles, the draft, and the orders of the commanding officer. And I thought to myself without stopping, what can be the matter now? First, just here, I started for school. It is French, because here are two characters, French and his teacher M. Hamel. So here we will think and we have to consider as French. So it is French, and his French teacher M. Hamel. So French started for school very late that morning. His French teacher M. Hamel had announced that he would question on participles, and poor French was terrifying because he didn't read participles. Then he was there on the way to school. Then he saw it was a bright sunny day, and he was attracted by Prussian soldiers because they were drilling. And then French was able to fight the temptation and hurried up. Then he just decided that he would not be attracted by those Prussian soldiers. Instead, he would go to school, and he started walking to school. On his way to school, French had seen town hall. He was passing by town hall and noticed a crowd in front of the bulletin board. For the past 2 years, all the bad news had come from it. So as bulletin board was there, all the bad news were there on that bulletin board. Means जितनी भी नोटिस आती थी, जितनी भी सूचनाएं आती थी, वो उस बुलेटिन बोर्ड के थ्रू आती थी. For the last 2 years, all our bad news had come as the lost battles. जब उन लोगों ने कोई भी बैटल वो हार गए थे, and the draft, and he noticed the order of the commanding officer. Means it was the source where they could get the notice. So as he was hurrying past, then he was thinking about what is there to be noticed, and without stopping, what can be the matter now. He was thinking also why Prussian soldiers were drilling, and why bulletin board is there, and something is wrong, maybe he was thinking. On the way, when French was moving hurriedly to his school, and he met with blacksmith, watcher, and he was hurrying. They called out to him. Means they called and they said, "Don't go so fast. You have enough time to reach to school." एंड उन लोगों ने बताया कि तुम्हारे पास बहुत टाइम है स्कूल पहुंचने के लिए, बिकॉज यू विल गेट टू योर स्कूल इन प्लेंटी ऑफ टाइम. मीन्स यू हैव इनफ टाइम टू रीच स्कूल. डोंट बी इन हरी. आई थॉट ही वॉज मेकिंग फन, एंड फ्रेंच थॉट दैट Goldsmith was making fun, and if he would be late there, then he will be getting punishment. And reached M. Hamel's little garden all out of breath, means panting, हांफते हुए. Then he just reached there to M. Hamel's little garden. Usually, when school began, usually means every day when they would begin their school, usually what would happen? There was a great bustle because many students would be there, and they were moving here and there. Due to that crowd, there was bustling, there was noising, and there was chaos. There was so much noisement, but it was not on that day, which could be heard out in the street. बहुत शोर होता था जो कि स्ट्रीट से भी सुना जा सकता था. But the opening and closing of desks lessons repeated in unison, very loud, with our hands over our ears to understand better. So here French is saying about the noisement, about the matter that would happen always. मतलब डेस्क को खोलना बंद करना, repeating in unison, and they were making noisement and trying to understand what was speaking. And the teacher's great ruler rapping on the table like this. Suppose this is table and your teacher is attracting you by rapping the ruler on the table. Many times when teachers they see that their students, they are not paying attention and they are busy in gossiping, they are busy in talking, they just beat their ruler, beat their scale on the bench, on the table, to attract the students in their class. So it was happening, but on that day it was not happening. But now it was all to still. Still means total silence was there. I had counted on the commotion to get to my desk without being seen, but of course the day on everything had to be as quiet as Sunday morning. So French is saying कि on that day when he started from his school, from his home to school, on that day it was just like Sunday, because no noisement was there, no opening of desk and closing of desk were there, and no opening was there, and also no noisement of teacher, either teacher or student, nothing. Total silence was there, as like it was Sunday. Now, but of course that day was just like Sunday morning. Through the window, I saw my classmates already in their places, and M. Hamel walking up and down with the terrible iron ruler under his arm. और उनके जो टीचर थे एम हेमेल, उनके पास जो आयरन रूलर थी, he had kept it under his arm and he was walking here and there. I had missed something in worried situation. I had to open the door and go in before everybody. You can imagine how I blushed and how frightened I was. Blushed means being red-faced, in red face due to fright, due to fear, or due to shame. But shame could not be there, only due to fear. He was blushed that he would be punished. But nothing happened. He was hoping, he was expecting, he was thinking that he will be punished. But it was not happened. M. Hamel saw him and said very kindly, "Go to your place quickly, little friends. We were beginning without you." And M. Hamel, usually he was very angry. He would be very angry before, but on that day he was peaceful. He was very calm and quiet, and he was worried, little bit worried also. And he said French to go and sit on his bench, and he didn't speak rudely. He didn't scold also. So it is about here. I will start in my next video. Okay students, Jai Hind.